Hi, I'm Jay from Malleco and Dark Lace Manufacturing. I'm a product specialist for both companies, and today we're showing off our new Manther Growl Eurorack module. So we took the 3340 oscillator core from our standalone Manther synth and ported it over to Eurorack. So what we've got here is similar features to before. The big difference here is now your triangle wave shaper will actually affect all of our waveforms. Give you a little audio here. So previously, with our triangle wave, we had our wave shaping. And now in addition to that, you can wave shape all of your waveforms. You have a CV input for your wave shaping. You also have raw outputs for all three of your wave shapes. So if you want to process those externally, they are before the filter and before the Bca and the wave shaping. So you can run them out, process them, and then bring them back in via the external in jack, and then run it through the filter and everything else. Let's see what else we got here. We also added a second dedicated envelope for your filter. Both envelopes have outputs, so if you want to run them back into itself to control other modulation parameters, you've got it. Octave switch, built-in LFO with normalized routing for that. It also has an output. Let's see here. If you're familiar with the Manther Growl, this sound is very similar. The extra wave shaping gives you a little bit of extra control and kind of gives it a more aggressive, more modern sound versus that one. Next up for the show today, we've got the quad Bca module. This is a 4-channel Bca. The nice thing about this is you have channel select for your offset and your attenuate version, and you also have active mutes. So if you want to take signals in and out of that mix on your sum, you've got those available as well. Everything that you can set on the quad Bca saves within our Varigate ecosystem. So if you have any muting set or any of your offsets, that'll all recall with your preset as you're repatching stuff. You can turn the remote, which is the preset saving system, on and off. So if you want to have a preset you're working from, you live play it for a while, and then you want to come back to it, it'll jump right back to where the preset was. We also have a scan mode. In scan mode, it will take the input at channel 1, and it'll space it out between the 4 outputs. So you can do quadrature with it. You can kind of think of it as a sequential switch that has smooth crossfading between it. This will also allow you to, instead of it having to be sequential, you can send it fixed CV values and it'll jump between all your different outputs, also with that crossfading involved. The scan control is active as you play it, so again, if it's out of scan mode, it'll listen to the preset values given to you by the Varigate 4 Plus or the 8 Plus. In scan mode, it overrides that and you get panel control of that. Let's see here. Moving on to the pedal side of things over here, we have our brand new for the show Malekko Goalkeeper module. This is a new iteration of a pedal that was built by Lightfoot Labs previously. We took that kind of classic sequence tremolo and brought it into a smaller package. You can think of this in terms of being a 2-channel tremolo. You have 5 waveforms for each channel. In sequential mode here on channel 1, each one's going to fire back and forth, back and forth. This can be set either via the rate knob or it'll accept an external clock. Right now it's being clocked by the Manther. In sequential mode, back and forth, like I said, up here you have multiplications for each of the 2 channels. You can randomize your first channel multiplication. So as you can see, it's going from 1 to, that was 6, up to 12, back, randomized. You can also randomize your waveform on channel 1. The nice thing about this is it'll give you a lot of different sort of rhythmic effects, but it'll always be in time. If you change, let's say you're using a clock from a Varigate or a Manther, it'll instantly update to that new tempo. You won't get any lag or jitter at all with that. So we'll change this up. Goes up, you slow it back down, right back in time. In addition to it being a sequenced back and forth 2-channel trem, we can also enter simultaneous mode, which will essentially run the two waveforms at the same time. When you're using the simultaneous mode for composite, you can think of the two waveforms functioning together, overlaying each other. In modulation mode, your second waveform will be modulating your first. So if you think about it in terms of the first channel being a sine wave and the second channel being a tight pulse width, if you looked at it in a scope, you would essentially have a stepped over sine wave. This is true of any of the waveforms with any of the multiplication values. So you can get a lot of variation on kind of a relatively straightforward theme. If you're using the rate knob with the clock already, you can get some kind of additional glitchy, sort of chewed up channel effects there. Try to slow this thing down so you can actually get a visual of what it's doing here. The input on the Malleco Goalkeeper is actually, it'll accept line level. I've even run modular straight into it and it doesn't clip, so it gives you a lot of, if you want to use it with something that has a functional clock, even something like a MIDI pedal board, you can get a clock out of your, kind of an analog clock out of your MIDI system. It'll sync up to that as well. Price-wise and kind of availability, the Growl is already shipping for $4.99 US. The Quad VCA is in production now. It'll be shipping in the next probably week or so for $1.99 US. And the Malekko Goalkeeper will start production probably this month, and we're looking at $225 US for that. So thanks for stopping by. Goodbye, Berlin.